Now here is a hollow rectangle. Let us first divide this hollow rectangle into rows and columns and label them. So this is how we are going to label it: R0 to R2, the rows, and C0 to C3 for the columns. The input for a rectangle should be the number of rows and the number of columns. So let us assume R to be 3 and C to be 4. Now analyze the complete pattern. Now we know that the row loop should run thrice and the column loop should run 4 times. The row loop is the outermost loop and the column loop is the innermost loop. So this is the important observation that we need to make here. Whenever R is 0, we can see all the columns have stars. Whenever R is 2, this is the last row, all the columns have stars. Second category, whenever the column is 0, that is the first column, all the rows have stars. And the last column, irrespective of rows, it has stars. Now let us check the conditions. Whenever C is 0, this is C0, column C0. This is the first column. You print a star. Whenever C is 3 or the third column, you print stars again. This is the last column. So C is the number of columns that the user has entered, and capital R is the number of rows that the user has entered. So these are the 4 conditions when we have to print stars. For all other conditions, we have to print empty space. This is a pretty simple pattern. Now, as we can see, the outermost row loop should run from 0 up to R. R is the user input. It is less than R. And the innermost loop, that is the column loop, runs from C equal to 0 to capital C. Capital C is the number of columns entered by the user. Now, this is the important condition. Whenever C double equal to 0, whenever it is the first column, or whenever it is the first row, or whenever it is the last column, or whenever it is the last row, you are going to print a star. For all other conditions of C and R, you are going to print an empty space. Then to move on to the next line, we are going to print a new line character. The same thing appears here. So this is a pretty simple logic.